So I just finished teaching a class, so I wanted to show you a few stretches that you can do when your body is already warm. So this is not for first thing in the morning, it's literally after a workout. You can also do it if you've just had a hot bath or a hot shower and your muscles are feeling warm and ready to be stretched for a long period of time. So we're going to start off on our back, so just roll down onto your mat. Bring those knees into the chest and give them a nice tight squeeze. And you're going to take your knees over to one side of the body and the arms in the opposite direction. So if you are already fairly flexible and you need a deeper stretch, you can always extend that top leg and lightly place the hand on the leg. And then you're going to bring the knees back into the chest with your exhale. And then take the legs over to the other side, arms in the opposite direction. Good, bring those knees back into the center, give them a tight squeeze, and you're going to place one foot down onto the ground. Keep one knee into the chest and extend up to the sky and pull that leg as close to you as possible. Now we can hold these stretches for slightly longer when our muscles are warmer, and that is what's going to increase your flexibility. So flex your foot and hold. Right, don't forget those ankles, so let's rotate the ankle for 4 circles. And then we're going to get a stretch all down the side of the leg here. So you're going to bring your toe in towards the center of your body. Grab the outside of that leg as you take the leg across. Now you want to bring that opposite knee also across the body so that you're actually crossing the thighs over at the highest point. Now you should get a stretch all the way from maybe even your baby toe into your ankle and all the way up that leg into the hip. And hold there. So you also want to relax into your stretches. If your muscles are all tense, then they're not going to stretch very easily, and you might actually find that you're a little bit sore after the stretch. Good, bring that leg back up to center, keep that foot flexed, and we're going to cross it over your knee. I like to hold it here first for a little bit, and if you tilt your pelvis forward, you get into the hip and sometimes into the glute as well, before we actually go into the thread of the needle. So you push that knee open, remember to keep the foot flexed to protect the knees. And then you're going to thread the arms through the leg, grab hold of that thigh or the shin, whichever you prefer, and you're going to pull those legs towards you. Now I like to use my elbow to also help push that knee open. And then you're going to get that lovely stretch in the glute. And don't be scared to really pull that in and hold. So this should feel really good, and you should always only stretch to a point of an uncomfortable feeling rather than anything being painful. So you'll also find that after a little while, the muscles start to ease into the stretch, and that's the perfect time to take a breath. And then as you exhale, you pull the legs just a little bit closer to intensify that stretch. And come out of that stretch very gently. Place that foot down on the ground and the top leg comes down. So what we've done on the right hand side, we're going to do onto the other side. So reach that leg up, pull it as close to you as possible. Hold here for just a moment. And then keeping that leg as close to you as you can, you're going to flex the foot, so bring those toes towards you. You should feel that stretch moving down into the calf area. Alright, let's rotate the ankle for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring that foot into the center, grab the outside of the leg and pull the leg across the body. Remember that leg on the ground, you want to pull that across to the other side as well. Also, the straighter you keep this leg and the closer you keep it towards your body, the more you're going to feel that stretch. Excellent. Remember to breathe and relax. And then reach that leg up. Keep that foot flexed, cross it over the knee, and again push that knee open and tilt the pelvis forward. And when you're ready, you're going to thread those hands through, grabbing hold of the thigh, and you're going to pull the legs as close to you as you can. Now, I teach a lot of classes at different clubs, and I always see people leaving the workout room before their stretch is done. And sometimes that's because, you know, they've got another workout to go and do. Maybe they want to go and work the machines a little bit more. But just in case you are one of those people and you are rushing out to go and do whatever your daytime chore is, just remember that stretching is really important. You need to look after the muscles. Take a deep inhale, exhale, and pull those legs a little bit closer. So by stretching, you're releasing some of the lactic acid, so you're going to reduce the risk of sore muscles the next day after a workout. Also, I did also read that stretching reduces your risk of varicose veins. So I've only ever seen that in one article, so cannot guarantee that that is the truth, but it's worth doing just in case. Alright, release those legs and we're going to roll over onto our stomach. So come onto your tummies, reach one arm forward, and you're going to bring one foot up towards the bottom. Now try and keep those knees together. And if you find that you are very flexible and this is not giving you a stretch, you can push your pelvis into the ground and lift up the knee. So you should get that stretch all down the front of the thigh. Now that is a muscle your quad does a lot of work, especially if you've just done a cardio class or maybe a leg day, so you really want to stretch that muscle out. And release that leg. Let's go over to the other side. So keep those knees together, or if you can, pull the pelvis into the ground and lift the knee off the floor. Excellent. And release. So I'm going to push up onto all fours, and then I'm going to come over onto my bottom. So just come comfortably, and we're going to stretch out the arms. So focus on the shoulders first. We're going to take all the arms out, reach, all the arms, take it across. Pull that arm towards you and relax. So you're going to feel that stretch all around that shoulder there. So the class that I've just done was a full body workout. So we worked literally every muscle group and definitely worked our shoulders today, because even when we weren't working the shoulders specifically, we were doing planks, which is also obviously working the shoulders because you're pushing into the ground. So even when you think you're not doing a one muscle group, you probably are. Take those arms nice and wide and we go over to the other side. Good. I like to spend at least 10 minutes in stretching after each class, and it's good for your body anyway. Stiff muscles also just result in lots of other problem areas. So if your hip flexors are in front of you here, if the hip flexors are tight, it causes all sorts of pain throughout the body. So you really want to keep all your muscles as flexible as possible. Reach those arms open. Now we also worked our triceps today, which is this muscle over here. So I'm going to reach back and push from the front. You can also pull that elbow from the top, or if you're particularly flexible, you can take the hands behind the back, grab the hands and pull that way. And let's take it over to the other side. So bring that arm up overhead, bend and reach down your back and pull here. So even if you haven't already done a workout, stretching is fantastic to do. It's always a good idea to start your morning and end your day with a stretch. And the only difference here is going to be you're still going to stretch the same muscles, but you're not going to hold for as long, because when your muscles are not warm, you want to really move through those stretches a little bit faster. balusters so that you are not really injuring yourself. And release. Good. Take the ear over to the shoulder and then bring the chin to the chest and over to the other side. Now we often forget to stretch the neck after a workout because you don't specifically work the neck. But a lot of us hold our tension up here. If you're doing an exercise, you might end up holding your breath, which is not good, but you might do that, and you might also do this while you're doing an exercise. Again, not a good idea, but you want to stretch out the neck area and the shoulder area just to be sure that you don't end up with a bit of neck pain afterwards. Excellent. Now we're going to do a hip flexor stretch, and this is an area that is all over social media at the moment, but it is a muscle that you really should stretch, and especially if you are an office worker, you want to get into this area. So again, we're going to come up onto our knees. Now bring one foot forward, always remembering to keep that knee over the heel and not allowing that knee to go over the toe. So instead of sitting back here, you're going to push the bottom forward until you get that stretch in the hip flexor over here. Good. Now we're going to get into the hip of the front leg. So bring both hands onto the front and you're going to roll over your foot and open the knee. Now you stay there. I'm going to come out and show you from the front so that you can see what I'm doing. So this knee, bring the hand in, and then I'm going to roll over the foot and open that knee over here. Now depending on how flexible you are, you might actually feel that you can come down onto your elbows. So do that if you wish. Good. And as always, come out of that stretch gently, bring that foot back, and then we're going to rock the hips back and change legs. So bring that other leg forward, again, knee over the heel, and then you're going to push those hips forward so you get that stretch in your back leg, and especially focused on trying to get into that hip flexor. All right, let's get into that hip. So bring the other hand onto the inside of the foot. You're going to roll over that foot and open the knee. And once again, if you did it on the first side and you feel comfortable to do it, come down onto the elbows and feel that extra stretch into the hip area. And let's step our hands back up, bring that foot back, rock the hips back, and come back onto all fours. And then sit down onto your bottom. So we're just going to open up the chest and the back, and then we're done. So take those arms forward. You're going to cross the hands over and reach forward, concave that chest, bring the chin down, and roll the spine. So we're really trying to stretch the area between the two shoulders at the back as well as down the back. So really reach as far as you can, pull that belly button back. You're trying to spread those muscles as much as possible. Take a deep inhale, open those arms all the way around. You can feel those biceps stretching there as well. Take the arms behind, hand in hand, reach the hands down towards the ground and open the chest and take the eye line up. Good. All right, take a deep inhale and exhale. Hopefully you feel as lovely as I do, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe, and there is that notification bell, so just click on that should you wish to be notified of any time that I post new videos. Thank you so much for joining me for your stretch today. Goodbye.